Hello and welcome. I am the Urban Animist and I'm here to bring you a guide to the unknown and the unseen. Okay, so let's get honest about ancestors. You want to? Let's do it. So, first thing I'm going to say, your ancestors love you dearly, okay? They love you more than you will ever know, and they're always there to support you. Always, in any endeavor. They might not agree with every action you take, but they will be behind you to help you out of any situation. So now that that's out of the way, okay, first, I would like to say, your ancestors, if you don't feel like you're connected to them, try looking further back. You don't have to know the name of a specific ancestor to call upon them. You can call upon your nameless ancestors, the ones who came before you, because there are many ancestors that came before you, not just your grandparents, great-grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. All of them are ancestors, but any ancestor that has come before you, that you come from, is your ancestor. You can call upon them. Now, I do want to say, there are certain, not exceptions, there are differences. There are ancestors that you inherit, and what I mean by inherit is, let's say you're adopted, and you're adopted into a family, and the entire family accepts you and knows you as theirs. You are their family. Therefore, their ancestors are your ancestors because you are part of that family. Okay? And that is truth. That is truth. That is, I've read stories, and I'm not going to get specific, but I've read many stories where a son is adopted into an old family and they are accepted by their ancestors of that family. Did I say old family? Oh well. This is going to be a one and done type video. I don't want to remake it. So the reason for me bringing this up now is because it's October, and in pagan communities, people celebrate Samhain as an ancestor veneration day. And it is a very important one. But the fact remains is that ancestors should be revered constantly, always. Why? Because they made it possible for you to be here. They made it possible for you to be able to do the things that you're doing, to explore and accept life. And that's an amazing gift, an absolutely amazing gift. So when I say your ancestors love you, now they don't always approve of what you're doing, like I said before, but the thing is that they'll always help you. And if you can't find the ancestor recently, if you had problems with, let's say, your grandmother, right? Don't call on your grandmother. Your grandmother eventually will get over it. Sorry, my dog was stuck in her leash. But the fact is that your grandmother's mother might be more willing to help you because there might be sympathy there. Our ancestors live in, depending on your death beliefs, right? Our ancestors live in a different realm, a realm where they see and they know us. They know us better than we know ourselves, right? They know, because they are us. We are the culmination of all of our ancestors combined in this one spot. If you have children, your children are the culmination of your ancestors and your partner's ancestors in one spot combined. How amazing is that? The abilities, the knowledge, even the pain and the suffering is all in your DNA and their DNA. And that is phenomenal. It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. So, where was I going with this? Yes, so I'm going to end this little bit about ancestors with a personal story. There was a time when I was really getting into, I guess you could say, ancestor veneration. And I wanted a familiar spirit. So I decided what I'd do is I would go to Helheim and ask Hela if she would take me to my primordial ancestor, or an ancestor that would give me a familiar spirit. Well, the goddess Hela did this. She took me to my primordial grandmother. Now, my primordial grandmother looked exactly like my maternal grandmother, and it was weird. It was really weird, and it was a very interesting experience. I asked her for a familiar, and she gave me a familiar spirit. And she told me that this spirit was to be passed down from each woman in the family until the family line ended. But after, what did she say, about 200 years ago, maybe a little less than 200 years ago, because of circumstances, the women weren't passing down the spirit. And so she had waited for me. She waited for me to come and ask for this because she knew I would come. She told me that she loved me. She told me that she was behind me, and so were my other ancestors. And that is a beautiful thing. To know that I have this armada of spirits behind me to help me out, to ensure my happiness and success. That's what they want. They don't want me to suffer. Now, in that vein, we will just go into a little tangent and talk about ancestral curses, generational curses, right? They're real and they happen. Your ancestors might have done something wrong to acquire this curse, or it might have been placed on them, or it might be a curse that they placed on themselves and just passed down each generation. To find it, you must find yourself first. To assess that curse, you must assess yourself first. Because until you realize what that curse is doing in your life, there's no getting around it. None. So, after you figure out what is being messed up in your life by this curse, right? And a curse can be broken really easily. There are many ways to break a curse. There are some very, very horrible hexes and curses out there that will eventually lead to your death if you're so cursed. But the thing is that if you're smart and if you understand the basics of how our reality works, our reality with magic, you'll know how to fix this. You'll know how the best way is to get around it. Just because it's a blood curse or an ancestral curse does not mean it can't be broken. Your ancestors will help you. Hell, you could go to Helheim if you believe in such. If that's your beliefs, go to Helheim and ask your ancestors. Ask your ancestor to find the ancestor that the curse was placed on. Ask them how to fix it. They'll tell you. The problem with everybody nowadays, they think that the spirits are in a different world. They are. But that world overlaps our world. It takes nothing to enter the realm of the dead. Nothing but a genuine want to experience it and to be shown. Hela, the queen of Helheim, is not some horrible figure. She's stern. She is stern. Let me say that. She is very stern. She's cut and dry. She loves, and the love you can feel from her, but she does not sugarcoat anything. She is stern and she's to the point. If you ask her something, she gives you an answer, or if you ask her for help, she says, this is how to do it. If, ands, or buts, do it this way. But if you come to her with a genuine heart, she'll accept you in, and she'll show you around. These are our gods. Our gods are not evil. They might not be good, but they have compassion. They have care for their people. They do. And there are good gods, but that's not what I mean. I mean, good and evil is such a nefarious topic. So, I'm going to go back to the original point. Your ancestors are waiting for you. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? light a candle to them. If you know some of your ancestors smoked, buy a pack of cigarettes and put that pack of cigarettes on that altar each month, each week, whatever you can afford. If you know your ancestors loved coffee, brew a pot of coffee and go give them a cup of coffee and change it daily. That's all. It's not hard. It's not hard to be one with who you are and one with who you are ancestrally. Your ancestors love you immensely, eternally. They'll love you no matter what you do, and they'll care for you no matter what you do. Like I said, if you can't find an ancestor from a recent line, go further back. Call on your nameless ancestors. They'll hear you and they'll come. You'll feel them. You will. And you'll see how your life changes. Your ancestors will always guide you. Always guide you. Okay? Okay. I'm the Urban Animist. I hope that I have illuminated some part of the unknown or the unseen for you here today. I'll see you all later. Bye.